Super Nazis. They're fanatics, I told Simon. After getting home from the Hitler rally, I'd burst into my house and run straight to the secret room. That's why they were recruited, because they're zealots. You should have seen these four guys. It was like God himself had come down from on high to talk to them. I saw it in their faces, heard it in their shouts. It's like a religion for them. They believe Hitler's nonsense. Aryan supremacy, the Jewish threat, world domination, all of it. So speaking English has nothing to do with it, Simon said. No, they love Hitler so much they would do anything for him. Kill for him. Die for him. To get on that team, all I have to do is prove to them that I'm a super Nazi. I just don't know how. Simon nodded. I know how, he said. You have to turn me in. No joke. You have to turn me in. Simon's words hung in the air like a bomb waiting to explode. No, I said. Never. My parents joined us in the secret room, and Simon told them his idea. I won't do it, I said. I can't. It would ruin everything. What about Projekt 1065? If Simon's caught, the Allies will never get the jet fighter plans. You'll have to take those with you to Switzerland, Simon said. You can give them to Professor Goldsmith to take back to the Allies after you stop his assassination. I threw my hands up, because that wouldn't be dangerous at all. If I got caught with the plans for Projekt 1065, I wouldn't even make it to Switzerland to save Goldsmith. But that wasn't nearly the biggest problem with this plan. You'll get in trouble too, I told my parents. They'll know you hid him here. Da nodded. Ma sat down slowly in Da's desk chair. They were on the fence, I could tell. But the fact that they were even considering this was crazy. I stood and went to my parents. We can't do this, I said to Ma. You told me before it's too valuable to give up everything you've worked for just for one man, and Goldsmith's just one man. One man who may know how to build an atomic bomb, Ma said. Not to mention that this could finally get those jet fighter plans into the hands of the Allies. We just have to decide if it's worth trading one for the other. The decision is whether or not we can put our son in that kind of danger, Da said. He can do it. I know he can, Simon said. It's what I'd wanted to hear, what I'd longed to hear, that I was good enough to be a proper spy. But now I didn't want it. Not if it meant giving up Simon to the Nazis. Michael, you have to save Professor Goldsmith, Simon said. The only way you can do it is to get on that team, and the only way you can get on that team is to do something so radical they automatically promote you, like the boy who turned in his parents. And you'll be doing him one better. You'll be turning in a British spy who also just happens to be a Jew. I shook my head. I felt sick, like I might throw up. Or cry. I'd had fun sneaking around and writing coded messages. Memorizing the plans for Projekt 1065 had been fun too. Up until now, it had all been a game. Kim's game. The game of spies. But if I turned Simon in, if I turned my parents in, this wouldn't be a game anymore. This would be real. We were talking about real sacrifice here. And not my sacrifice. The sacrifice of people I loved and cared about. You'll be sent to a concentration camp, I told my parents, my voice cracking. No, Da said, we'll be long gone. I frowned. What was he talking about? I want out, Michael, Da said. I want all of us out. It's too dangerous. The tide has turned with the German defeat at Stalingrad. The Nazis are like cornered animals, savage, wild, putting 13-year-olds in charge of anti-aircraft guns, sending 17-year-olds to the front lines. I don't know how much longer the war will last. Another year? 2? 3? But the longer it lasts, the more abominable the Nazis will become. One way or another, we will die if we stay here. I've already talked it over with your mother. Ma nodded, her lips pursed. We were going to put in for a transfer, she explained. But if we turn Simon in to get Michael on the team, there won't be time for that. We'll have to sneak out. I'll get in touch with my network. By the time Simon is taken into protective custody, your father and I will have disappeared. It'll make us look more the guilty anyhow, and you more the hero. But you said it would take weeks to set up another escape route for Simon, I said, desperately trying to find a logical reason to cancel this crazy plan. And now you're going to escape? Yes, Ma said. We'll be winging it, to be sure. But I know the network, and the both of us know the territory. Don nodded at her. Simon didn't. And we have diplomatic immunity, which might count for something if we're caught. It's the Nazis. Diplomatic immunity won't count for anything, and you know it. If you're caught, you'll be killed. I was on the verge of tears again. We'll be killed if we stay, Da said. I paced restlessly. And Simon? I asked. Simon bowed his head. No one else answered the question, so I did it for him. He'll be sent to a concentration camp, I said. I saw it all in my head, Cinema. Torture, interrogation, imprisonment, all the horrible things everybody knew happened at the concentration camps, but we didn't let ourselves think about. Da signaled for me to sit and be quiet, and Ma went to the door to make sure none of the staff were listening in. I sat back down in my chair, my chest heaving, my hands balled into fists. I desperately wanted to hit something. Did you hear the one about the Englishman, the Irishman, and the Scotsman who were all sentenced to a year in prison? Simon asked. I don't want to hear any jokes, I told him. He was trying to calm me down, but I didn't want to be calm. I'm not turning you in, Simon. It's not worth it. Simon got serious. Michael, the atomic bomb program is perhaps the most important project of the entire war, maybe of all time. If this thing does what people think it will change the way wars are fought. It will change the whole world, far more than any jet fighter plans. Every night, the British drop tens of thousands of bombs on Berlin, and it still stands. With an atomic bomb, you drop just one, and it destroys an entire city. If there can be such a thing as an atomic bomb, it's vital the Allies build one first. And Professor Goldsmith is vital to its creation. Da took a deep breath and nodded. Then we do it. Ma took my hand and nodded her agreement. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I pulled my hand away and stood, but I didn't yell. No, I can't. I won't. There has to be another way, I told them, and I left to go find it.